Welcome to MC Travelogue. On this episode, we'll be exploring the Aqua Tunnel. And to start, we're going to be in the Aqua Tunnel's train station. I don't know why I like starting in train stations. But anyway, so you come down and you enter this area of the world. And there's all kinds of stuff that's built up here now. TNT, like that is probably not a good place to store those. I believe that's a hotel that Will has built up. And this, you can hear the animals. This is a pet store. Yep. Here we have a nice little pavilion where you can bring the family picnic on this little peninsula. And another of the mysterious rainbow pyramids. There's just all kinds of things in this area. But what I want to show on this episode is what we call the Aqua Tunnel. You can see it here, deep down underwater. There's this glass tunnel that goes out towards the sea. Now, eventually, it's gonna be a lot longer, and it's gonna keep going. And this was like phase 1 of the project. Phase 2, and in a previous episode, when I was on top of the arches, which are some wooden structures, wooden towers I'm building, you could overlook the sea, and you could see like a ring of lights on the floor of the water, and that was outlining where a big glass dome is going to be built underwater. And inside that dome, the water is going to be pumped out, and it's just going to be air, and there's actually going to be buildings and probably a park, stuff like that. So you got this big underwater neighborhood. And access to that will be via the Aqua Tunnel. So let's go down and see what we've got so far of the Aqua Tunnel. Now these 6 columns that are sticking up out of the ground, those were placed there to reserve space. That they were here before any of this other stuff. And those were to mark off where the entrance building is going to be built. So right now we've got the steps which go down to the tunnel, but there's really no, entry in a building or any kind of protection. But that'll change eventually once the tunnel's a little bit further along. And that glass block was placed here because it marks the center of the tunnel. So I don't remember if the steps were created first. Oops. And this was to line up the tunnel, or if the tunnel was started and it lined up the steps. One way or another, that's what the glass block is there for. So let's go on down into the steps and see what the tunnel looks like from inside. So you got all these little sea lanterns, give plenty of light in the tunnel. All right, so here we are. We got the royal black and red carpeting going along the tunnel floor. It's all glass, and it's lit by these sea lanterns every few blocks or so. So right now, this is the underground portion of the tunnel, and of course this is where it breaks out into the sea itself. Now, the tunnel is probably twice as long as this, but the section beyond this wall has not been pumped out of water yet. The water has not been pumped out. So it's real hard to make underwater structures because you have to build the structure and then fill it with blocks and then go back, destroy the blocks, and that is what gets rid of the water. And if you make any little mistake, if you break one block, all the water fills up your whole tunnel again. You got to start from scratch. So that's as far as the tunnel goes right now. Let's see. Maybe I'll go ahead and go for a scuba dive. Let me go ahead and put my gear on. Okay. And don't worry about the aquatic life. It's friendly here. All right, so you can see we're going to go down now. We're on top of the tunnel. You can see the black and red carpet down inside. So as we walk along, there was that wall, and you can see this part of the tunnel is still filled with water. So it's going to have to be pumped out. And this part has been blocked also because this is where the tunnel is currently being built. So what they'll do is go inside here, and like I said, and you can see that's what they're doing here. They're filling it with dirt, and then once you destroy the dirt blocks, the water's gone. It just leaves air. So it's real tricky. Like, they'll have to go in this end because it's still full of water. Or they can go in anywhere. They can go in right here even. Just break a glass block, go inside, replace the glass, and then fill the whole thing with dirt. And then once they break it all, they leave the wall at the end, and then they can take down this dividing wall, and then you've got your whole wall of air. Okay, so that concludes our tour of the Aqua Tunnel. Thanks for watching, and come back for another episode of MC Travelogue.